Thank you. It's really great to be up here. I have to really twist my arm to come to Sholo in June. We actually have a place up here on Hilltop, just about a couple miles away, and any chance I can get to come up here, I take it. Just came back from the belly of the beast last night in Washington, D.C. This week, we were working on a piece of legislation called the National Defense Authorization Act. And I know we all want to be supportive of our troops, but we also swore to uphold the Constitution.
Yeah. So
I will tell you that I was one of very few in my party that ended up voting against that bill. And I didn't vote against it because I don't support our troops. I support them with all my heart. In fact, my son-in-law is a captain in the Army, and my nephew is an Army Ranger. But I want you to know something. In that bill, there's a provision that allows the American government to detain an American citizen for an unspecified period of time. That violates the Constitution in my belief, and it was enough for me to vote against the bill.
You voted for CISPA.
But I was able to get into the bill a couple of things. Would you have rather I voted for the NDAA?
I would like you to uphold the Constitution.
Well, I appreciate that.
Including the Fourth Amendment. The Fourth
I'm sorry?
Amendment. What about the Amash Amendment?
Yeah, I was able to get a couple of amendments into the bill. One was for the on the drone strikes. It's the same one that Rand Paul filibustered about, that guarantees that no American citizen can be targeted by a drone on American soil. And then the other one was dealing with the detainment of American citizens. But it still wasn't enough, and I ended up being one of about 12 Republicans that voted against the bill. But I want you to know, with what's happened in the last week or so, dealing with the information that this administration is polling from people on the under the so-called Patriot Act. I was not there when that bill was passed, but Section 215 of it has apparently given carte blanche to the administration to go snooping with people's phone records and with emails. And so Justin Amash and I have co-sponsored legislation, just dropped it a couple days ago, to repeal that section. I don't believe that that is constitutional either. I believe that we have to do everything we can within our power to fight against those things. I want you to know that when it comes to dealing with government spending, if the Constitution strictly adhered to Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution and only did what Congress was authorized to do in those 20 enumerated powers, the budget would be balanced by next week.
What about the Fourth Amendment?
The Fourth Amendment is very important. That's why I voted against the NDAA.
But you voted for CISPA.
Well, I'll tell you something, and I regret that. I ended up voting for CISPA, and it's not going anywhere. It's in the Senate. If it comes back around, I will vote against it. I made a mistake. Sometimes when you're told certain things and you understand certain things and you read in the language that it upholds that, you believe that. You try to do everything you can to try to protect our country against some of these Chinese hackers. And but since I've seen what I've seen in the last week, I believe that it's the wrong way to go. But I want you to know that as far as I'm concerned, the Constitution is my guiding light. I'm not a perfect individual, and I do listen to people, and I do believe that if there were more congressmen in Congress that really believe that the most important role that they have is to uphold the Constitution, we get this thing back on track pretty quickly. There are a handful of us in the Congress that believe that we can turn things around. It's better than it was when I was there before. When I was there before, I think there were about 11 of us. They're about 25 to 30 now. And I'm actually leading the charge on a couple of things to require that anything that passes out of the Congress, we have to cite the constitutional provision for what actually authorizes that. And I want you to know I'll keep fighting for those things as long as I possibly can. But I don't want to sit up here and just preach a sermon to you. Maybe we should open it up for a couple of questions. Any questions on what's going on there in Congress?
Why is the administration funding Al
Anything
Qaeda?
what? About the foods?
Wave your hands on the way up. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the genetic altering. Yeah, there is legislation that has been introduced to try to correct that. I do support it, but it has not been assigned to committee yet. Yes, sir. You know, I agree with you. I think that we need to go back and look at every bit of any kind of foreign assistance that's being provided. And when you're dealing with, Pakistan and any of these groups that have been hell-bent on destruction of America, I don't understand at all why we give them one dime. I also don't understand why we still participate in the United Nations. And I am working to do everything that I can to try to get us out. What it's going to take is a Senate that will convict. Well, I was part of, his question was what's it going to take to impeach Obama? I was part of the impeachment of Bill Clinton, and I voted for every count when I was in office before to impeach Bill Clinton. And then we sent it to a Senate that failed to convict. I can guarantee you that if impeachment proceedings were taken up and sent to Harry Reid, it would go into his back door. Nothing would happen. Nothing.
What do we do about it?
Well, what we do about it is up in the hands of the American people. We've got to get a Senate that actually has some courage, that's going to stand up and do what's right.
Good luck on that.
Yes, they do.
But we still have the power in our hands to take it back as an American people. What are we going to do about it?
That's a good question.
You're going to have to
Yes,
get
sir.
rid of the electronic voting first.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm very much supportive of ending the Federal Reserve. There was an amendment. That's a good comment. We all know from posse comitatus doctrine that the military is not supposed to do anything to enforce state or local laws, and that they should not be turned into policemen or a police state here. There was an amendment in the NDAA this week that I think even went further to allow them to do that, and I voted against it, and then I ended up voting against the whole bill. But there are several of us that are trying to lead that charge to change it, but we're fighting against 60, 70 years of, I think, moving toward basically scrapping our Constitution. And coming back and turning it around is a very, very difficult process. Like I said, there's a handful of us in Congress, but certainly not a majority. We got to send back a majority of people that actually care more about their Constitution than either political party.
What do you think
Yes,
about
sir.
what they did in Boston to everybody? Bringing you out of your house at gunpoint. No Lawrence. No nothing.
I'm sorry, the aerosol. Oh, chemtrails. I know that there's a couple of congressmen I've talked to about that are working on legislation, but I don't know. I haven't seen any finished product yet. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Right.
But there's one thing that the representatives do have, and that's the power to defund it. You got the power to bring it back. Why don't you use that?
Right now, I'm sad to tell you again that there are a handful of us that have tried to do just that have tried to defund it. But still, in order to get that done, because if nothing's done, and I have told our leadership that I am willing to do whatever it takes to get to that point, even if it's a government shutdown. I've been through one before. I'm willing to go through it again.
Yeah, right.
I'm willing to do whatever it takes to defund Obamacare. So you're preaching to the choir with me. I will do everything in my power. In Boston, you know, I don't know if you saw some of the footage on what happened after Hurricane Katrina. A lot of people had their weapons confiscated too. That's one of the big reasons I've been on record saying that I'm against any of this stuff that's been proposed in the Senate or the House on the gun checks. I don't trust the federal government, and I support the entire Bill of Rights, including the Second Amendment, which is very, very sacred to me. And we've just got to make sure that we don't give them any more authority, because there'll be more of that. What do I think about it? I think it's wrong. I think it's dead wrong. I think that the right to bear arms is a sacred trust, and if you're going to take away somebody's gun or go into their house, you should have a warrant. Yes, ma'am.
What can you do and what can we do about the federal takeover of this president? So much so that because of this federal crime, our local school districts don't even have any control over what...
I'm doing everything. I'm on the education committee, ma'am. And when the first day I met with the chairman of the education committee, he asked me what my top priority for education was, and I said my top priority is to get rid of the Federal Department of Education. And I will do everything in my power to make that happen. He said that he actually supported that too, and I said, well, then let's do it. But I think there are several of us in the Congress that really, really believe that, and I hope with all my heart that we'll be able to get it done. We'll keep trying. Okay.
Would you please come back to Arizona and run for governor?
Congressman,
Yes.
thank you for coming out here, and thank you for realizing that the entire Bill of Rights we must support, and we must not compromise it, including the Fourth Amendment. I respect what you said when you said that you regret voting for it and that you're not perfect. Nobody is. But having said that, I'm grateful for what you said, but I want to make sure that we're going to hold everybody accountable and that the Bill of Rights will never be compromised. Are you willing to go on record today in front of all these people and say that you will support the Fourth Amendment and that you will never vote for CISPA or anything that involves any type of government surveillance without a warrant? Will you go on record now among all these people?
I will never support anything that violates the Fourth Amendment. Yes, I will go on record saying that. And I will do everything within my power to make sure. And as this came up, as I read through the legislation, and as I talked to scads of people, including a lot of folks that I consider to be constitutional scholars, many of them came back to me and said, Matt, I don't believe that this allows them to take the information. It simply allows them to be a clearinghouse to give the information back. But after what's happened last week, now I know that didn't happen under CISPA, but it's caused me to go back and rethink everything. I think that even if we give them a well-meaning piece of legislation that doesn't give them that authority, they're going to take it anyway. And so anything that even gives them even close to that authority, I'm going to be leery of.
Agreed.
That's where I'm at.
And again, I appreciate your understanding and your statement saying you regret it and your pledge to everybody here to support the entire Bill of Rights.
Absolutely.
If I may help you in getting your message out and your pledge to support the Fourth Amendment, if I were to provide you a pledge saying that you will support the Bill of Rights and the Fourth Amendment, will you sign it so I can distribute it?
Of course, but it's redundant. I just said it in front of all these people.
I know, but
and I've raised when I run it over the square before God and said that I'm willing to, I am going to uphold the Constitution at all costs, even if it costs my life. And so I think it's a little on the redundant side, but absolutely.
The only reason I asked for those that didn't have the benefit of being here today and hearing you speak,
Right.
that I could give them your pledge that you signed so that they will understand and know that they can have faith in you in supporting the Bill of Rights. So thank you again for your support of the Bill of Rights coming out.
Thank you. Well, folks, thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity to be here today. God bless you and enjoy your day.